मैं आपका बहुत मशकूर हूँ और मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि आपने मुझको यहाँ पर मदऊ किया और ऐसी खूबसूरत अच्छी एक महफिल आपने यहाँ पर मुनज़्ज़म की है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
जब हमारा नेशनल एंथम चला तो सर ये अभी भी रोंगटे खड़े हो रहे थे वहाँ पे। तो मतलब वो उससे बड़ी फीलिंग कुछ नहीं थी। मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि जितनी भी आज तक मेहनत करी है, इंजरीज हुई हैं, जो भी हुआ है, वो उस टाइम भूल गए थे हम।
I don't believe in tags. I don't believe in comparisons. For me, the joy of life is just watching that ball and hitting it in the middle of the bat.
And only
इंडिया कभी झुकेगा नहीं।
Please do keep watching CNN-News18, but beyond that, do watch films in the theatre.
Thank you for that.
You don't,
We're on
you don't,
cable as well as on social.
You don't get CNN-News18 in theatres yet, so.
Hello and welcome to this very special broadcast. We are leading up to the biggest news event of the year, the Indian of the Year 2024. And trust me, it is going to be bigger, better and celebrating some of the most boast-worthy names in the field of sports, entertainment, business, you name it. At the same time, it lauds the icons who may have silently contributed to the society and environment, bringing about the much-needed change. And that's not all. Join us in the revelry as we get the hustlers on board, the youth icons who are disrupting the set norms of the mainstream. The Indian of the Year 2024 shall honour such individuals across 7 categories. The winners would be selected via jury votes as well as the popular votes with equal weightage accorded to both. Now, across 7 categories, we shall recognize the Indians whose performance is cut through the clutter and also towered above the rest in the world of sports, entertainment and business. Climate change warriors are there, the social change makers and the youth icons who have left a mark on Gen Z. Indian of the Year 2024 honours these shining stars whose remarkable contributions across various fields have left a lasting impact on the nation. So the countdown to the mega event has begun. Now, since its inception in 2006, it has established itself as a premier awards event in news television, renowned for its unmatched credibility. Now, in its 14th edition, CNN-News18 Indian of the Year promises to take the tradition forward. Here's a look at the leading names from the world of politics, sports, cinema, civil society, all coming together on this platform and celebrating the icons who redefine success in many ways. Here's a special report on the wonderful memories of the Indian of the Year 2023.
Welcome to India's biggest awards night.
A star-studded ceremony with exceptional individuals. Indian of the Year 2023 saw the biggest star of Bollywood. The Indian of all ages, Shah Rukh Khan.
I don't just feel like the Indian of the Year. I feel I've been the Indian of all the years gone by. And I will be the Indian for all the years to come. I am actually, ladies and gentlemen, the Indian for all ages.
The 13th edition saw some of the biggest names from sports, cinema, entertainment and social change being awarded.
I think Tamils have been very lucky. We've been back-to-back music genius have been happening, and this is our new one, and we are so proud of him.
The gala evening had key change makers and path breakers whose effort, grit and determination has shaped the growth story of India. Indian of the Year 2023 brought together the real heroes whose work and contribution touched the lives of millions.
You are actually giving us limelight to India's environment.
It was a night to honor those who stand in the face of adversity and danger. The heroes of Uttarkashi garnered recognition, earning a special mention to enthusiastic applause. The NDRF Director General and rat miners who rescued 41 workers from the Silkyara tunnel were true heroes.
जिंदगी तो सर इतनी बदल गई है हमारी। शाहरुख सर से मुलाकात हो रही है और आप जैसे बड़े-बड़े लोगों से बातें हो रही है। मैं बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ आप सभी लोगों का और CNN न्यूज़ का।
2023 was etched in history when India's space agency demonstrated unparalleled prowess with Chandrayaan 3. An Indian of the Year would be incomplete without celebrating that outstanding achievement.
Sample from Moon to understand what went wrong is not possible.
Yes.
So we were working on hypothesis and then trying to recreate what could have gone wrong. And we went through a series of simulation, testing, etc. And once we had the confidence to do it, we made it a point to understand that the whole crux of that issue is fully understood. Then only we are taking the chance. And that chance was taken with full confidence.
The marquee event of 2023 closed with high energy, leaving us all wanting more. And this year, Indian of the Year 2024 promises to be bigger and better.
Let's now get you a lowdown of the 7 categories that we have been talking about one by one. Let's take a look at the people who are vying for the top spot in all of these respective categories. Let's begin with number 1. We have the sports category and the nominees are Manu Bhaker, Jasprit Bumrah, you have Swapnil, Srijesh and Smriti Mandana. Who takes the cake is something that we will have to wait and watch for the Indian of the Year this January. Let's take a look at the other category now. Now this one is the rising star when it is about these sports icons. Now in this category you have Aman Sherawat who's vying for the top job. You also have Sarabjot Singh, D. Gukesh, also Abhishek Sharma and Shafali Verma. All of these people are vying for that top laurel there. Now we are looking at the nominees in the field of entertainment and we begin with the lady here, Shraddha Kapoor, also Vijay Sethupathi, Pankaj Tripathi. You have Kiran Rao of Lapata Ladies fame. Her film of course headed to the Oscars and that of course got her a lot of laurels there, and also Fahad Fasil. Now let's take a look at the youth icon category and who all are contending in this particular category. We begin with Nancy Tyagi. That is the influencer who has been doing keeping social media in a tizzy. Of course, Janhvi Kapoor is there, Vicky Kaushal, Nikhil Kamath and also Jaya Kishori. All of these people vying for this particular category, youth icon of the year. Let me now take this to my guests who are joining me on this very special broadcast. We have now referred to 4 special categories. And to discuss all of that, I have with me Samiksha Take, who's a sports enthusiast and a content creator. We also have Dilip Cherian, who's an image consultant. And we have Advaita Kala, screenwriter and columnist. Also joining us is Reena Dhaka, fashion designer. Reena, let me begin with you. Out of all these categories that I have just referred to, do you already have a favorite?
I do, but I mean, I agree that they're all champions here. It is sad I have my favorites, Manu Bhaker being one of them. I have also, I'm also rooting for Nancy Tyagi, who really impressed me with her sewing skills and the fact that she did it herself. In my eyes, a big winner. Pankaj Tripathi and Lapata Ladies, Kiran Rao. I mean, of course, they're in the same category, so a bit of an issue there. And Jasprit Bumrah.
Wow.
Sorry.
So, all right. So Reena has her favorites. Dilip sir, what about you?
I don't have favorites. I'm looking for the underdogs to win. This is a country where the celebrated get celebrated too often. I'd love to see people who don't actually make it to the headlines too often and are there because of things they've done this year. The more we celebrate those, the more we encourage people to actually come out and do those heroic things which make society better each time that they try.
So Rising Star, is that your category? That's what you are looking at?
Absolutely.
So amongst those people who are vying for that category, who's your favorite?
No, I'm good with the choices you made, and I think we should let the public decide and leave a little room for the jury.
Okay, Samiksha, you are a sports enthusiast. I'm sure
Yes.
you're catering your entire sensibility to these two categories. That's a sports and rising star in the field of sports. So your clear winner, favorite, who is that?
My favorite winner has to be Jasprit Bumrah, and it should have no reason because when it comes to Test, when it comes to T20, when it comes to ODIs, he is an amazing bowler. And Sachin Tendulkar sir has always said that he's once in a generation bowler. I think he deserves it. But with respect to that, Manu Bhaker, who just got us another Olympic medal.
Yes.
So I'm rooting for these two guys. But apart from that, when it comes to Smriti Mandhana, Srijesh, Swapnil Kamble, they deserve to be where they are. So yeah, koi bhi jeete, I will always root for Jasprit Bumrah more.
Okay, and Adwaita, while we do not want to influence the popular votes, the voting lines are open, the voting is currently on, but we have to ask you your favorite, and it has to be from the filmdom as well, the entertainment industry as well. So what are your thoughts about the nominees there?
Well, again, very interesting picks. For example, you have Fahid, who has really crossed 100 crores in Malayalam cinema on all three films that released last year, or this year rather. So it's an incredible achievement. He's a very fine actor. Then you have Vijay, who's had a really rags to riches story, like Dilip says, the underdog who's just become iconic now. And we see his fans on Twitter all the time, they're obsessed with him. So it's pretty incredible that a guy who's been a cashier and held all kinds of odd jobs has risen to this level of superstardom in our country. I think it's a very empowering feeling for, a lot of young people out there who hear these stories and think they can make it. And of course, there's Shraddha, I mean, the only woman on this list, and really
No, we have Kiran Rao as well.
Kiran Rao, Lapata ladies, yes. But, I mean, the thing with Shraddha is that commercial cinema is so biased towards men, and to have a young woman at that, in her prime, come in and, rock the box office is something so incredible and something so proud that makes one feel so proud, because it just doesn't happen. So I think she's also an extremely interesting pick.
Okay. Now, Dilip, I want to understand from you, and we do not want to make it into a North film industry here in North India and a Southern film industry sort of a debate going on. We don't want all of that to happen. But what Adwaita really spoke about, whether it is Vijay Sethupathi or Fahad Fasil, do you think Bollywood, for the want of a better word, they stand a chance because of the kind of stardom that these two men also command?
I think, I've been involved in this debate for a short while now. And I think Bollywood recognizes itself that its system is broken. The star system does not seem to allow for talent to come to the fore too often. And I think that is the reason why you see what is happening suddenly with Southern cinema. So without being parochial, looking at the entire gamut of the film industry as it's produced in India, I think you're going to see this disconnect between the two halves of the country growing more, and eventually I think what we consider as conventional Bollywood will have to repair itself if it is to get more creative. Lapata Ladies is just one example, and we'll need a lot more of that kind of enthusiasm.
Oh, absolutely. Very well said there, Dilip. And Arina, taking a cue from there, let's also talk about the rising star, because Lapata Ladies, we have two of the rising stars in that very film, and such promising ladies who have been so aptly represented by Kiran Rao. That is a beautiful casting over there. But if we just not restrict ourselves to cinema, there is a rising star category as far as sports is concerned. If you're a sports enthusiast and you see the kind of lineup over there, what do you think the result is going to be from here on? Because all of these people are so promising in their respective fields that the result and the choice is going to be a really tough one for the jury and also for the people who are voting right now.
I like Shafali Verma because the fact is it's not a stereotype, and she's a champion of a cricketer, cricket being our sport, which is obviously after cinema, it's cricket. But I like your other choices as well. There's Abhishek Sharma, there's D. How do you pronounce him? Sorry, Gukesh.
Yes.
Indian Grandmaster who has broken into the world top 5 for the first time in this rating list. So yeah, I hope one. I mean, I think even just being in the nomination is a message that they are already winners, and the fact that they get to this stage and the light is shining on them. It's a great recognition in itself, and of course, jury and people will lead us to their popular choices, and I hope the best man or the best girl wins here.
Okay, and Samiksha, you've already spoken about how Jaspreet is really making the cut. But what about these young shining stars, the rising stars of the country? And we have that interesting lineup. What do you say about these sports stars?
Each one belongs from a different sport.
Yes.
And when I am personally a sports player, I played professional cricket for 13, 14 years. So my personal favorite has to be Abhishek Sharma, because, he was a former hockey player. He was the captain of hockey team. And post that, he was into, I still remember he hit a 6 to Travis Head, and I was so happy that, oh my God, somebody gave it back to him. So my personal favorite has to be Abhishek Sharma. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. And Adwaita, Manu Bhaker and Smriti Mandhana, 2 ladies on this particular list. We have to talk about them. Manu Bhaker, the shining star of this year's Olympics, and Smriti Mandhana, we know the kind of laurels that she has commanded for the country and she's had garnered for the country. So about these 2 women.
Of course, Manu Bhaker, 2 bronze medals in the 10-meter pistol event is just an incredible achievement. And she has so many years ahead of her. So one is really excited to see the kind of laurels she's going to win for the country. And another young candidate, D. Gukesh, who is the chess grandmaster at 17.
Yes.
I think nowadays we speak so much about mental health, and you have really the situation where chess is a very demanding game when it comes to mental acuity, concentration, focus, and balance. So I think it's so great that in this generation, and we always criticize Gen Z, and he is Gen Z, for having, the attention span of maybe 10 seconds. So here you have somebody from that generation who can sit for hours at a chessboard and match wits with the best in the world. So I think he's a great example to young people on, how you can really train your mind and focus your mind.
Okay, absolutely. Let's now, in fact, talk about the youth icon, and that's another favorite category. And Reena, you began with speaking about Nancy. She's on it. But do you think, out of the 2 people who are from the film industry, and they too are youth icons in their own right, and Adwaita was just mentioning about how the youth have lesser attention span, all of them are scrolling their screens. Do you think making a cut over there in front of a person from the film industry becomes equally important, and Nancy or others on the list will manage to do that?
See, I think for me, this list it's Nancy Tyagi, the winner. I have watched her only on social media. So what was incredible about her was that she made it to getting herself invited by her sheer popularity. So she created this whole world for herself. And as Dilip had mentioned, she is India's true rising star, even by his, she's meritorious. On top of it, she has her own sewing machine, a small, simple sewing machine, which I know doesn't have a speed of a fast, regular industrial machine. She managed to create those beautiful artworks, which you can see on the screen for herself, by making it herself. And I think that itself is a great achievement. She, for me, is definitely a youth icon.
Let's take a look at the other categories. We begin with the business nominees over there on your screens. We begin with Dipinder Goyal from Zomato. He is leading that category nomination. You have Bhavish Agarwal from Ola, Rajiv Bajaj from Bajaj Auto, of course. You have Team HAL and Sangeeta Reddy of Apollo Hospitals. The next set of categories are in the field of social change, and we begin with Women in Cinema Collective. Remember, they are the ones who have been garnering a lot of headlines because of their conviction to go ahead and fight against sexual harassment within film crew circuit, and that's something that has been dominating headlines, of course. You also have Tatvasil Kamble and Ashok Tangre who are there. You have Palak Muchal. We all know about her single prowess, but about the fact that she is associated with a social cause really, garners her a lot of merit to her name also. We also have Adik Kadam and Lalji Bhai Prajapati on this list. Next up, we have the climate warriors this year, and who all are the nominees. We begin with Vinisha Umashankar, you have Hina Sefi, you have Soumya Ranjan Biswal, you have Chami Murmu and Kriti Tula, all of them very, very promising youth icons in their own right and climate warriors. In fact, let me go back to my guests now. Samiksha and Reena Dhaka continue to be with us. Samiksha, let me begin with you, and let me begin with the climate warriors category, because it's an interesting lineup that we have around there, and all of them youth icons in their own right, and they are fighting to save the climate, and that speaks volumes.
Definitely. I am a millennial creator, and when it comes to Gen Zs, they should have, a good pathway that people can follow. So when it comes to these amazing, talented artists, I really think that each one deserves their own, where they are. So no matter whoever wins, it is kind of a message to the whole generation that how can we, make our world a better place to live in.
Absolutely. And Reena, it's very interesting to get swayed by the popular. What people are doing usually, whether it is fashion, films, or, creating content which is on the more popular lines. But doing this, and that too coming from the age group that we have over here, is really, really something which deems it all the more meaningful. Is that right?
Absolutely. And, they're so sensitized. Because there's always the other side, is the awareness when news and information is moving in the palm of your hand. So they are sensitized, and they're not just sitting about it, and they're going about making a change by being different. They're thinking out of the box. They are bringing this great change we so badly need currently. Though I must say, in your climate warrior category, I am very impressed with Chami Murmu also, because she did what is it, Mathai one, I'm getting her name a bit wrong, the one who started the Green Revolution in Africa. So she is similar to the one doing it in India, and also in 500 villages. So I think that itself is, for me, my true hero. I want to be a tree when I'm reborn. So yes, for me, it's Chami Murmu, and I hope she becomes an icon. And in my mind, she truly is one, leading people and inspiring all of us with her story.
Okay, and we have to also talk about the social change. This is social change in their own right. Let's also talk about the kind of people that are now vying for the top spot as far as this particular category is concerned. I began with talking about Women in Cinema Collective, and we've seen how steadfast all the ladies who are associated with it really are to fight for the cause that they decided to get together and fight for in the first place. Amongst them and the other people who are mentioned in this particular category, your pick, Reena.
There is, of course, this renowned singer, Palak Muchal.
Yes.
Who's been funding free heart surgeries. I mean, that's really very incredible.
Very
to be,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, to fund it also from, for a young person to do it. And in all these stories, in fact, Adik Kadam, a young man from Maharashtra, was given a home for educating and his time. I mean, they are all, it's incredible. I feel so humbled by hearing their stories and how much more we can do within the time span we have in our daily lives also. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reena, you have been associated with the fashion industry, and, taking out that time to work for the society and do something, in fact, your give back to the society becomes absolutely important, because people know you as this ace fashion designer, but what else is Reena Dhaka doing in her real life really speaks volumes, and that is what these people who have been marked in the social change category are also doing. Isn't that very, very commendable?
Absolutely, and it's inspiring that how it's what religion really is. It's what real happiness really is to go beyond your own narrow self and to look out for others and to bring about that change which they, with their own single lives, are able to do.
Absolutely.
So it is quite incredible.
And Reena, we cannot leave you without talking about the business category. Of course, we have a lot of people who are, making heads turn with the kind of initiatives that they have generated through their own respective business ventures. We keep talking about Dipinder Goyal, what Zomato is doing, what Ola is doing, and it impacts our daily lives because all of them use such portals, use such apps. What about you? What do you have to say about this lineup?
I think the business lineup is fantastic. I know young Mr. Rajiv Bajaj is phenomenal. Mr. Olas are everywhere in every man's life. We all have the apps. Zomato is used again in our daily life. So these are people who are bringing change in a normal man's daily life. So that's what's great. But yeah, I'll go for Dr. Sangeeta Reddy.
Okay.
Because she is quite a force to reckon with, and she's brought about this great change. And hospitals are always so significant in the lives of so many and in healing.
Right, Reena, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your views about all the nominees who are vying for that top job over there, top contention that we have over there. 7 categories. We'd like to thank all my guests for joining me and discussing all of the people who are nominated this year for Indian of the Year 2024. I have to remind you that the voting lines are open. Continue to vote for your favorites so that we come up with the Indian of the Year in each of the respective category, and be prepared to watch that show in January this year. Thank you so much for being a part of this special broadcast.